Desmond Lee, and I'd like to share with you three truths to understanding grief, especially now in these troubled times. Number one, we can grieve anything. We've had loved ones lost. I personally have had loved ones lost. We've had aunts, fathers, mothers, siblings, children. And of course, these losses are overwhelming. Yet and still, we've also had other losses as well. We can grieve anything. Any significant thing in our lives can cause grief. There's been losses of employment, of abilities, of mobility, of jobs. There's been losses of course, related to that, of income levels. There's been losses upon losses related to these times. And we have to be prepared and realize there's a grief, a loss that we have to emotionally process that comes with that as well. Secondly, grieving impacts the whole person. Grieving is not just something that happens sort of up here. It affects us, yes, emotionally and mentally, but it even affects us physically. It in essence, goes into our bodies. It affects, yeah, feeling and thinking, spirituality, our relationships. It affects our behaviors. In other words, it's more than just an emotional experience. So you want to understand and grasp that, yeah, there's some emotional pain, but understanding that your grief is also affecting how you're behaving in the world, which can either help you process that grief or it can end up pulling and expanding that grief into longer periods of time. And so realize it's a whole experience for us, even down to our bodies and our behaviors. And three, how we cope with grief is as wide as the impact of grief, and you've got to figure out what's best for you. Um, Look, we always hear about the 5 stages of grief by Kubler Ross. That has some validity into it, but primarily that was done for people who were experiencing themselves, getting ready to die, as they heard the news that they had a limited amount of time within hospital care. So there is no rigid 5 rules that have been confirmed. There's ways to cope with grief that vary according to you and to what you're going to be able to need. Anything that helps you process your feelings and thoughts and helps you feel comforted is going to help you get through your grief. Um, Anytime that we can connect to others, process our feeling, and cope, we are on a good path to processing and getting through our grief. And so I hope this helps you. I definitely wanted to help you to understand that it's not a rigid process. There is no super right formula. We just want to make sure that we understand its impact and really embrace and figure out what are the practical ways for us that we can be able to get through grief. And thank you.